guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fun League. I was recording this video and then Theo Bridges, Houston Nets trade, Houston wanting Kevin Durant, all of that shit Woj just tweeted that shit out like he had it in his drafts and was waiting for it to happen. So, took a break, had to just scroll Twitter for 25 minutes. But, as you guys are going to hear me talk about it, JJ Redick, next head coach of the Lakers, was announced yesterday, had his press conference. Probably one of the best press conferences that I've heard from a new coach ever, especially one coming into a firestorm of being the Lakers head coach, the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA, with much better ownership and track record of winning, while also having no head coaching experience in the NBA or no coaching experience in the NBA either. Like, that is a firestorm in that media market with, working at ESPN and your former ESPN colleagues coming at you. And he handled that shit perfectly. Like, it was absolutely awesome how he handled that. With the question about Dan Hurley, the just coming out and acknowledging it with a joke, like, yeah, I have no experience, guys. Like, perfect. Like, one of my biggest reasons for handling him, or for hiring him, was that he's media trained, and that showed in the first time he was meeting with the media. Like, you want the guy that is hopefully going to represent your organization for a decade or more. Like, I want him to be there for a really long time. You want that guy to be the face and not say dumb shit like, oh, I can't control what the players are doing, like Darvin Ham said in the playoffs. Like, you need to have a put-together human in charge, which we do. And, I'm going to start off with talking about why I think he's a better candidate, better coach right now, even than Frank Vogel and Darvin Ham were. On the Frank Vogel side, he won a championship. He was in charge during the hardest season that any team has ever had in NBA history. They were stuck in China. They went there for a preseason game. Daryl Morey made some comments against the Chinese regime, and the Lakers weren't allowed to leave their hotel until Adam Silver came in there and negotiated their release, basically. You start with that. 5 months later, January 2020, LeBron James on January 25th is in Philadelphia, the home city, technically, of Kobe, and passes him in, all-time points, becomes third all-time on the list. And as y'all know, I'm a huge Kobe fan. While they're on the flight back from Philly, the news breaks that Kobe Bryant passes away because of the helicopter crash. Frank Vogel has to deal with that. He is the point man for that. Then, your team is on an absolute roll. You beat the Bucks, the Clippers, the Sixers, the Celtics in a 3-week span. You haven't lost a game when you have the lead going into the fourth quarter. And the worst pandemic since influenza in 1919 maybe hits. And then you have to deal with that. And, your team is the 1 seed in the West, and they might not get to play in the playoffs because of COVID. You go to the bubble, everybody's away from their families, you have to manage that, keep people motivated, which, the Clippers weren't able to do, and people have used that as an excuse. It was the hardest season in NBA history for any team. Frank Vogel handled it masterfully, and he got canned because Bron and AD wanted Russell Westbrook. That didn't work out, and he was canned because of that in his third season. Second season with Frank Vogel, I think they win. We were up 2-1 on the Suns before AD got hurt again, and LeBron was already hurt because the bum-ass guy on the Hawks turned his ankle on purpose. But, Frank Vogel had a lot to deal with. He did a really good job of handling it in front of the media and stuff like that. His defensive and offensive schematics were really good. The roster was good. Darvin Ham, on the other hand, Mr. Hand Stuffed in Pockets, didn't do shit schematically. One of the greatest comebacks in franchise history against the Clippers this season happened because they stopped listening to Darvin Ham and did their own thing and listened to what LeBron was saying. So, he obviously, the team lost so much trust in him. They lost the locker room. Frank Vogel also lost the locker room, but that's for different reasons. Now you have JJ Redick come in, and he's going to be respected off rip because he's a 15-year NBA veteran. He made the playoffs 14 of those 15 years. He's a one of the best three-point shooters of all time. And he's a certified psycho when it comes to basketball and being competitive. Like, still grinding tape, still grinding film, staying involved in the game after he retires, having one of the best basketball podcasts out there, one of the best sports podcasts out there, then getting the greatest player of all time to jump on a podcast with you and do that, just talk basketball, analyze it, break it down, while also calling the NBA Finals. And he accomplished that in 2 years after retirement. He was also one of the first players to start a podcast while he was still in the league. So he's a trendsetter there as well. And obviously he won't be podcasting while he's coaching because he's focused on that. And he's talked again and again in multiple interviews of him being interested in coaching because he can be competitive and bring that into his life again. And, most people, after you work 15 years in any job and it's so grinding, it keeps you away from your family, so much travel. It's a phenomenal, being an athlete is insane, but there's so much that comes with it that after 15 years, most people are like, I bet we're good. Then you have the sickos like LeBron and JJ that are like, no, we want more. We want to keep winning. I'm still good at this. And with someone like JJ, someone that has been an avid listener of his podcast, I have absolutely 100% faith that he's going to walk into that building every single day, be the first one in, last one out, every single cliched stereotype you want to use. He's going to be that guy. And he's going to set an example for the entire building to follow. As he said in his press conference, the pursuit of greatness can't be miserable. He's going to make sure everybody's locked in, everybody's bought in, and they're all having a good time doing it. Which is something that Frank Vogel was good at too, but there were other parts of the equation that he couldn't manage. There is no intangible that JJ Redick doesn't have that goes into being a good coach. The only thing lacking is experience, which is why Rob Pelinka and JJ are very, 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 very adamant and clear that we're going to hire experienced head coaches to be on the bench. And JJ said that I want people that challenge me, that have different ideas. I don't want yes men. That's another thing that's needed greatly. Frank Vogel, when he was hired, Jason Kidd was the first assistant. That allowed different ideas, and people were like, oh, Jason Kidd is just there to take the job next year. They're going to push Vogel out, which didn't happen. Going into some other things, Anthony Davis was apparently very heavily involved in this coaching search, which I'm very happy to hear as a Laker fan. I think, obviously, everybody realizes that it's his team going forward. LeBron only has 2-3 years tops left in him, and obviously he wants to retire, chill out, enjoy life. He's worked so hard for so long. But it's AD's team now, and he should be the focal point in, the franchise asking, who do you want to be the head coach? And he should be the focal point of that head coach's plan defensively and offensively because he's that good. He is a top 10 player in the NBA when healthy, and he has played more games than Kawhi Leonard, but, ESPN and Stephen A. Smith can't seem to mention it for some reason. But it is an out-of-the-box hire. They went after out-of-the-box candidates heavily in J.J. Redick and Dan Hurley, and I think it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And I will end this episode with the greatest soundbite ever. Enjoy.
I don't really have a great answer for your question because I really don't give a fuck.
Thank you guys for watching. Peace.